I have a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
We don't have minutes, right?
No.
Right, so I'll second it. Remove approval of the minutes.
Oh, we do, okay.
So a motion to approve the agenda as amended?
Yes, so moved.
And a second for that.
Second it.
There we go. All those in favor?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, old business. We need to complete our review of the policies and goals section of the comp plan. And last time we left off at goal 34.
Section D9.
So, does anyone have anything in goal 34 that they want to amend, eliminate, or add to?
There's as much as 1/3 of the town's households. Is that right?
Yeah, that's a lot.
Where are you reading that?
And then-
Oh.
Policy itself.
Policy,
Right, the-
yeah, the bottom, meets the identified needs for affordable housing to as much as 1/3.
Well, two as much. That means it could be less.
Yeah, but if it does go up to 1/3,
That's a lot of low-income housing.
sure is.
Where are you? Which?
Oh, the policy itself.
34.
34, okay.
Can we say one
See,
100?
this is one of the problems of dealing with goals without doing the actual inventory updates too, because this is going from 2000 data,
Right.
when we were in a building boom in which housing costs were spiraling way out of sight.
And there was a reason why that, I'm gonna propose that since we don't have anything to back up the change, that we just let that language stand until the next round.
Yep.
I-
Next round will be pretty much doing the inventory.
Yeah,
Couldn't we just change it though to a mix of housing types, sizes, and styles, varying, recognizing the various needs of the different segments of Arundel's population, and meets the identified needs for affordable housing, and just leave it at that?
Yep, we could,
And
and it
not
should be
take the 2/3.
affordable housing, not housing affordable too.
Yeah, and affordable housing, and just leave the rest of that sentence off?
She's warning us.
Or, I mean, do we really want to?
my only concern is that I think that stemmed from some requirement from somebody someplace. That was not just a random number. And I'm a little bit concerned about changing that and I don't disagree with you in terms of your intent.
Yeah.
I don't remember why that was specified.
Might have been a goal of the town at that time because of the amount of, because of the escalation of housing costs. at
But
that
there's
time.
no, is there a state
But there's no state
requirement?
goal. No state
I
goal.
wasn't sure if it was.
All right, well, if we're confident that there's no state
That's fine.
goal or requirement, then I have no problem with your suggestion at all. How does everybody else feel?
So we'll end at affordable.
Change
Well,
it, well,
Reverse affordable on housing,
yeah.
and then put period after house.
And
So
then
we'll
we'll
say,
the rest of that sentence.
meets the identified need for affordable housing.
Did you break stuff again?
It's like hell. No, I'm sorry, Dad, I can't do that.
Is that thing Paul?
Yes, it did. Dan broke it.
Okay, anything in the actions that we need to address?
So just, we're gonna strike two as much as 1/3 and just say, and switch around housing
Yeah.
affordable.
Yeah.
Need for affordable housing.
You want to regulate density based on the number of bedrooms? Isn't that a little strange?
Yep.
Yeah.
But that's what you've been doing, is it not?
Well, we haven't actually been doing it, we've been talking about doing it, but we haven't. I can see no evidence of the planning board ever doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I'll have to help you to your car, because I can tell you'll be weak and firm.
It's just like the next thing, 3.34.2, require that at least one be constructed to be fully handicapped. I don't think we've ever done anything like that.
No.
Multifamily development, I don't know exactly. Is that like considered a multifamily unit, or is it development?
That would be,
It's more than two houses.
It's three or more.
What's that?
The definition of multifamily is three or more.
But it says development.
Right, so a
Okay,
development is
housing,
three or more
okay,
houses, three or more dwelling units. But in this case, it's more than 10 units and 5%, but at least one.
We haven't ever enforced anything like that. I don't think so.
I hope we haven't had any policy, nor have we enforced it.
And I remember the discussion on this section.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
Where did this mandate come from? Was this self-imposed mandate? 'Cause I don't know of any NISHA requirements for this or
I
anything.
don't know of any politically correct way to describe where this came from.
Well, then don't be politically, I mean, we were,
Let's put it this way.
Why
start now?
My recollection is that the comprehensive plan group at that time was seriously split on this issue. And there were some folks who believed we really had to accommodate the affordable housing issue, and others that felt that that was not necessary. It was a spirited discussion, and I lost, as did the others who agreed with me.
yeah, I think that was back when the state was really pushing a certain percentage of affordable housing in the housing stock. It was really hip to do this kind of stuff.
Yes.
Mandates, especially in the Portland area.
but now we got LePage, so
Well, if we've never done
Well,
it.
first of all, there is no state planning office anymore.
But we can't afford tonight to get hung up on random discussion about every single thing here, because we're never, ever going to finish. So what's your pleasure with this one?
Take it out.
Which specific one are you talking about?
3.4.
Mandate for,
34.2,
34.2? I'd say pull it out.
I said we'll out too.
Well, even 34.1, right?
Yeah, I'd pull 34.1 as well.
1,
Yeah.
2, 3. Take those out.
Okay,
Yeah,
Continue to allow manufacturing housing throughout the town.
Yeah.
Keep that. Amend the residential growth plan to show that at least 10% of new units are affordable to low and moderate income households. We've done that, right?
no.
No,
Where do we
we
do
have a
that?
residential growth ordinance, but we've never,
Yes, but there's something there about affordable housing in the growth ordinance.
It's never been enforced to my knowledge. Do you have the growth ordinance with it? Because I don't.
I don't have it on, I have it in my other book.
It's in the green book and I have.
well, this says amend the growth ordinance, so it either has been amended or it hasn't.
It seems to me there is something in the growth ordinance about affordable housing.
okay, so
it might
let's,
be, but Donna
let's
has a
just
good
leave that
point.
there.
This says to amend the residential
Right.
growth ordinance,
hasn't
so if
happened.
it has already been amended, it can get pulled out, right?
Yeah, and if it hasn't by now, it probably never
It never
will
will
be.
be, so pull it out anyway.
Yeah.
Okay,
So then the only one that we have on that one is continue to allow manufactured housing throughout the town.
right,
Frankly speaking, I think that provision right there takes care of over 10%,
right.
right there.
because I mean, you can have modular homes and mobile homes
Sure.
and,
Okay,
Okay, that shortens 34 right up. to-
Okay, so.
so we're taking out
I'm
1,
taking
2,
out-
and 3, and 5?
Yeah,
So, wait a second, let me get this on, up on the videotape, so we all see it. So we're saying take out 1, 2, 3?
and
5.
5.
Wow, this is a really short section. All right.
We're doing our best to
that, we
conserve
have
paper.
others,
Next,
we have other short sections?
they can all be
Well,
really
if we keep
short.
doing it, they're all gonna be real short, yeah.
well, there's nothing wrong with that if it's what the town wants.
Okay, assure that building codes reasonably protect health and safety of residents.
I don't think action 1, we're required to have Maine state codes now, Maine state housing codes or construction codes. We don't go by our own adoptions, we have to meet the Maine codes now.
So we don't need to regularly.
I don't think
But we regularly update based on the main housing codes,
Yeah,
right?
don't mess with that one, leave it housing is.
Yeah.
Huh?
Because, I mean, you have to update, when the state wants to update, we update.
Okay,
Right.
and then we can consistency inspections.
Don't worry, it's not a backdoor to NFPA 101.
So 35, we're all set, we're 36.
Upgrade of substandard housing.
I have a little question about 36.2. Didn't know that was something that either A, we do, or B, we should do.
Why don't we can amend this to say, continue to work with efficiency main program for weatherization and so forth, because we already have that system here.
Do we want to say efficiency main, or do we want to generalize it?
Yeah, we would work with housing or energy.
Efficiency main was the one that was officially given it. What's the name of that program? Hold on, let me get it.
But if we generalize it, that kind of, in case efficiency main,
Yeah, just say continue to work with housing programs, or even if we said various housing programs.
Yeah,
Well, we have actually an ordinance we passed to allow,
We did.
efficiency main is in fact the,
yeah, it is a,
it's the vendor, but they're, I can't, I probably don't have it on here. There's a program.
But that could be gone next year.
No, it's a state program. If it's gone, then
it's a
this
state
thing goes
program,
bye-bye.
and it could be gone.
Well, no, but it could be replaced by something else, is my point. If we leave this loose to indicate that we're going to be willing to work with any housing program available to assist with weatherization and home improvement assistance, then that opens the door for anything that comes down the pipe.
so you could just put work with housing programs to assist low income, you don't even have to name.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Exactly.
Right, just-
It's called the Home Energy Savings Program, is what it's called.
Well, what if we put, you know, at the end, e.g., for example,
Or just what, or equal, or equivalent. Home Energy Savings Program or equivalent. That would take care of any successors, if you will. So it's a Home Energy Savings Program.
Work with state/local housing programs.
Yeah, we could do that.
So we're work with state housing programs?
I just threw out, work with state/local housing program to
Okay,
assist
I
low
like
income.
that.
Okay, state and local housing programs.
State and/or.
well, just put slash and then that covers the and/or.
Yeah.
All right, work with state/local housing programs to assist, da-da-da, and then put a semicolon, e.g., home energy savings program or equivalent.
What, after assistance?
Yeah,
Good.
I don't feel comfortable with 36.1, establish housing standards to protect energy resources. We're having issues right now where we can't even do anything with people who, if they're living substandardly and want to live that way, you have nothing. You know, I don't know if it's.
Well, I mean, we've tried to do some of that, right? We've
Yeah,
tried
we did
to,
with the-
we've tried to do that with the trailer thing.
Trailers, yeah. I
And
guess.
that's part of, to protect public resources, health and safety and welfare of occupants, so, I think we've done that.
Yeah,
but occupancy is a period at the end. I mean, I don't think that's a bad,
yeah.
again, this is,
But
Try to do it, yeah.
We've already
Yeah.
established those, haven't we?
No, not.
Because it's saying
we're still-
establish
still do
housing
more.
standards.
We can still do more, I think, yeah, we're working along
Yeah, I
those
would
lines,
think that one.
yeah.
all right, so,
37 was good.
37.2, I have a little question about too.
Well, 37.1, require all new heating buildings to meet energy performance standards?
All new heated buildings, so all your, and they have to follow those main energy codes, which are twice as strict as far as the insulation and R values, which they are, so.
My
There's
problem,
nothing wrong with those things, those are all fine.
encourage upgrading of existing.
We've actually done one, actually the state's done one through MUBEC, but it's good to keep it in. Because the main, the Uniform Energy Code is, building code is We'll have to do much better than that right now.
What was the issue with point two, Donna?
You know, how is the town in a position to encourage the upgrading of existing heated buildings? I guess that's my question.
Well, if we had a chance to get a grant to do that and do a program, just like we did with Efficiency Maine, we should grab it.
Or they come in for a, they wanna make some changes, they wanna expand, they wanna.
I mean, we have that program right now.
Yeah.
I was basically just looking
Nobody
for
takes
clarification.
advantage of it.
Yeah.
It's a very low, interest loan that is done through Efficiency Maine.
Okay.
It's a great program.
Makes
We
sense.
don't pitch it enough
Water resources, 38.
though. Yeah, if we have a choice.
Hmm?
38-1. I think we only have one
Existing
overboard discharge.
We had two or three on Riverwine Drive
Right.
that we had, and I think they're being made to, I don't know if they still do, but they have to go through DEP for renewal of their license.
Yeah.
We have nothing to do with it, we just get a copy that they're applying for their overboard discharge renewal, and I think a few of them have been made to do.
Are those the ones that are close to the flood?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah. That's the only ones that I know of are on Riverwine.
So does that mean 38.2 is unnecessary?
Because we don't assure that they work properly, I think they have to go through the DEP, the state regulations.
Yeah, we really don't have any authority in that situation,
Scratch
because
that.
it's really an exemption.
Yeah,
It's granted. But what they're saying, what this is saying is basically if grant money were to come along, the town would be eligible for it. Or if we can encourage people to do this, especially if they're new homeowners, which I know Jim has done, tried to do in the past too. If be encouraged to replace that overboard system.
All right, well, that was basically my question, was where does the CEO fall in this picture? And if he has anything to do with it at all, then it's still appropriate for us to have it in the comp plan.
He does, he basically becomes the clearinghouse to send it up.
Alright, so leave it
So
there.
then, that, there's no harm in having that in there.
Right.
Okay, moving along, 38.3,
That's fine,
4,
fine.
okay, we're on a roll, 39. I had a
Yeah.
problem with 39.1.
Class A water surface?
There's no way.
Class A.
Class A. How in the world are we gonna be class A?
what's that?
Well, we might be class A.
So do we even need that policy there?
Well, surface water quality,
No, redesignation of the Kennebunk River.
As a Class A surface water.
I don't know the impetus for this. I know this, I know that a number of the upstream point sources, like the turf farms and so forth, have been basically gone down, and KKW has bought up a lot of easements to protect the, their aquifer, and also on the Rundle side of the
Yeah.
river too. Should we always try to go for Class A? No. Because they'll put stricter stormwater standards.
I'm thinking we take 39 completely out.
I agree with you.
Boy, there had to be a reason in one end.
What's that?
It's,
Well, that
it's always desirable
That
to
reason's
have
come and
Class
gone.
A, to shoot for Class A, water quality, because it qualifies you for less stringent DEP review in the stormwater. Act.
Right, but we don't even have a river committee, we don't belong to the Kennebunk River Committee.
Oh, we're part of the watershed. Oh, come on.
But our impact on that is a lot less than upstream and on the other side.
Right.
Well, we.
Well,
have
actually,
that.
we share in that.
I know we have an impact, but there's a heck of a lot more upstream.
Well, actually, some of our greatest impact is subsurface water,
Yeah.
because the watershed around 111, surface water goes into the Saco, groundwater goes into the Kennebunk River. They flow in opposite directions, which is a geological anomaly of sorts. But, so we do influence it, just not in any obvious way.
Leave it to a Rundle.
It's us. There's a way to make it strange, we can find it. Well,
It's just, I don't see any problem leaving it for a moment. It doesn't do us, you know, you can, as we've discovered before, we can encourage the state to do a lot of things.
Right,
And we usually say, thank you for your advice, and please go away.
yeah. All right, so it's not gonna do us any harm.
No, it's not gonna do you any.
Okay. 40. Current setback requirements in shoreline districts, I'm sure we have nothing we can do about that anyway.
Might as well just keep it.
Yeah.
Okay, 41. That's just regular monitoring the groundwater at the site, and we're certainly continuing to do that.
Oh,
We'll
actually,
be paying for some more.
yeah, we're gonna be aggressively pursuing this policy by DEP command, so
Okay.
we're not gonna take it out for, obviously.
Okay. Minimizing impact of contamination by the Biddeford landfill.
Well, I'm
We
bidding.
have tried to be informed with the, you know, their groundwater monitoring. And they're not very good about sharing, I think.
Well, it's my understanding that there's gonna be a new management team over in Biddeford that's gonna be coming up, so.
I'm sure that will help.
So,
So we 42, there's no harm, no foul, we just need that.
Foul. I think it's
And we've already
still
changed the-
important, and it's also part of interregionalization, right?
That's a nice word.
Yes. Well, we
Policy-
assisted them in their Thatcher Brook study. We were part of that. They ignored us after we, of course, signed on to it.
Policy 43, protect groundwater resources throughout the town from contamination.
Can I just go back a little bit here?
Yep.
We require water quality analysis prior to the approval of any new land use in the Alfred Road District,
What are you going back to?
42.2.
I
But
think
we
that-
should.
We should, I think that came about because we have had in the past some really serious water issues with Charter Oak
Yeah.
Mobile Home Park, and they're not following through on that. I don't know that they must have to do annual water tests, but
Yeah, I don't recall, I mean, we've looked at some, a while back, we've looked at some developments there. Phil had a development that he was talking about doing on the other side of the road. Is that still in that district?
Yeah.
yes.
Yep.
I think the big thing too is when they put in the pines, we had a moratorium for a while because of all these water issues.
'Cause I don't remember, I mean, there's not a lot of
No,
new land use stuff going there, but I don't ever recall asking about a quality analysis, water quality, so we need to make sure you guys put that in your ordinance.
Well, I like the idea, because it also, if we were to have a persistent water quality issue there, then certainly we can certainly blow that up to a crisis situation, which would qualify for certain grants that would allow us to extend water service from Biddeford Saco Salt Water Company, which is at the top of the hill there.
Yeah.
So we might be able to qualify and extend water service down if we have a persistent problem down there. So I like the idea of somebody else paying for the testing.
Okay, 43.
Top of the hills, is it?
It goes up, it goes up to, Andrews, which isn't exactly the top.
I'm thinking about that far. Okay,
Yeah,
sorry.
it goes up Andrews.
Yeah, because of Biddeford Crossing.
They took the water there and they took it up to Andrews, especially when they thought the casino was gonna do it.
43.
How big is, 80,000 square feet?
2 acres.
2 acres.
2 acres.
Wow. I don't think we've ever done that.
No.
no.
We base that on, we base it on ground situations, not on lot sizes.
So should that come out then? Or do we want it? I think that's expensive.
Well, all of our R1 will now, everybody will have to do a hydrologic study for development in our not so urban, in our unurban, or not our, what are we calling that? Our-
Residential?
Yeah, residential, but
R1.
we're just calling it residential one.
Residential 1,
Yeah.
1 acre residential.
Yep, 1 acre residential, which means anything that is in R1 will automatically, any lot. Well,
Well,
it's subdivision, so
and-
it's yeah.
Yeah.
Let's get rid of it.
Strike it, yeah.
Get rid of it?
Yep, gone.
Yeah.
See you, bye.
Obviously, that didn't fly very well, because that never went in.
Some of the stuff hasn't flown because nobody's ever read it.
There is that too.
Prohibit uses to present a high risk to groundwater quality, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Require all uses to present a risk to minimize it. Wait a minute. If we're gonna prohibit all the uses that present, high risk,
Yeah.
as opposed to any risk, I guess it's a quality qualifier. And,
You know, you could take action, I hate to go back, but action 43.1, you could say, amend the subdivision regulations to
recommend?
recommend.
Okay, I like that.
I do too, I don't want to make it completely, I'd like some ammunition if necessary, but recommend works.
Well, what if instead of saying, when individual lot sizes are smaller than the 2 acres, why don't we tie it to a different scenario? When circumstances warrant, or during a full moon.
Yeah, blood moons. And then, I'm trying to, on poorer quality soils. We won't say poor, we'll say poorer quality soils.
Okay, so amend subdivision regulations to recommend a hydrogeologic analysis.
Individual lot sizes are smaller than 80,000 square feet.
Okay, on poorer
on
soils.
Poor quality soils. And we'll leave it to the planning board to determine what the poor quality is.
Yeah. Poorer,
Yeah, so four
Poor,
poorer, you're saying
Poorer quality
Yeah,
or poor
poorer.
quality?
that's pretty
You
much it.
discover pirates, you definitely have to have it done. Okay, 43.4, I had a little difficulty just with the English,
I don't think it's ever been done.
but I don't know.
Oh, that was my first question. Did that have been done?
No,
Do
it
we even
hasn't.
have the information to hand out?
Do we have any information to hand out for contamination? I mean, you can contaminate by putting pesticides.
Yes.
Strike it, I'd say strike it.
Where are you? I'm sorry.
43.4. That would be a good article for Yarrow.
Yeah, that looks like arrow material to
Boy,
me.
Stacy would go nuts if you heard us saying strike this stuff.
I mean, but
Okay.
never
It's,
been
you know,
done.
it's not a bad idea, I mean, this is all wonderful stuff if you got the time and money.
But it's
Right.
never, it hasn't happened in 20 years.
And we don't even have any information, anything to
We
hand
have
out to
any-
these.
Oh, yeah, we do, I'm sure we can get it from Landau Farm, Audubon Society.
We can
The usual
figure it out
suspects.
ourselves, because we're smart here in the world.
Right.
But right now it's gone.
Yeah.
Wow. This is a brutal group.
Unrealistic,
Editing are us. Okay, other critical natural resources, town freshwater coastal wetlands, reactivate the conservation commission.
It keeps dying all the time.
That's about as, likely as getting issued the arrow next week.
Yes.
Well, if we're gonna include the arrow, we've gotta include the Conservation Commission. We're one of the few towns that doesn't have one.
And we're not, I seriously doubt that we're going to.
Mhm.
Well, let's not
Um,
preclude it.
But, okay, wanna leave it?
First of all, we don't have an Arundel school.
Yeah,
Well,
that's what I was going to move on.
44.2 has to go.
Gone.
Right, that's gone. So I guess we might as well leave one, so it looks like we're creating public awareness. Okay,
Maybe somebody would argue, why not put it in the RSU 21?
You could.
well,
We
because
can't
we
enforce
can't.
it.
We
We
said
have no
encourage.
But we can
control.
encourage.
Encourage.
No, trust me, it's not gonna.
45.
Thank you.
Wow, I was gonna suggest, recommend that programs occur on the Eastern Trail, you know, to educate the public about. natural
45.
resources. Right.
45. Thank you.
Jeez, yeah.
Okay, I
Wasn't
assume,
it guys 10 years ago?
I assume 45.1, I was there, I was outnumbered. Maintain current 100-foot setback, I assume that we can't do anything about
That's
that?
it, that's dumb, yes, you have to.
Okay, so let's leave it.
Unless we bail out of shoreline zoning and say, you take it, state.
What about 45.2? Create an overlay zone to protect forested wetlands larger than 20 acres? And develop standards similar to standards for shoreline zoning, is
We
that,
already have it,
so,
keep it.
keep it.
Maintain an overlay zone instead of
Well, no,
create?
because you have to create the overlay zone in a particular place.
Okay, do we already have this?
But it
Yeah,
could
in
be,
some
could be in many
places.
places.
We actually have it for not all 20 acres, it's for 20 acre important
Okay.
forested
All right.
wetlands. So I don't wanna mess with it, because they kinda
Okay.
wanna, remember this, Dan?
No,
Yeah, it was in the shoreline zoning we did.
no, I'm like pounding my head trying to figure out where we put
45.2,
Royal Swamp.
reestablish a building setback requirement of 50 feet for wetlands larger than 1 acre in area. Is that still good?
So, wetlands larger than 1 acre.
50
No,
feet?
we don't have that.
Well, since we established, should we have it?
It wouldn't be a bad idea.
Let's leave it.
Okay.
And protect vernal pools by establishing clearing restrictions to setback of 100 feet, requiring that within 750 feet of the pool, at least 75% of the land be maintained in forest cover to take care of 37% of the chipmunks.
It's not chipmunks, it's salamanders. The state does this, get rid of it.
Okay.
Let's say that again?
The
State
state
does
does
it, it's gone.
So it's
DEP does it.
Okay, fine.
46, on a roll, protect the town's wildlife habitat.
Keep Bentley's open.
And hunting. You wanna see this thing go down in flames?
46.1, identification of vernal pools as part of subdivision, I assume we do
Yeah,
that.
that's good.
46.2, I assume we,
Yes.
Have no
that's
problem
good.
with.
Ah, jeez.
So-
Vernal pool,
I have,
so-
I suspect we're gonna have a problem with 46.3.
So on, wait a minute, 46.2, that's already done, right? So maybe we should change the amend to
Maintain.
maintains.
Or continue subdivision regulations to require.
Enforce.
Well,
Yeah,
Have,
we don't do that, DEP does that.
right, but we have it in our regulations, or?
No. Yeah,
so,
we-
all right, so
we-
then it's enforce.
It's enforced by DEP, we don't do it.
Strike it.
Collaborative.
Enforce the maintenance of the buffer area around high and water vernal pools? Or maintain the requirement?
Should have kept my mouth shut. We went to
Thank
that
you.
one.
Watch it next time, please.
Or just cross off and put require maintenance of a buffer area around high and water bottom?
Yeah, that's fine.
Just take off the
This is all
subdivision
fine.
regulations, just put require
Well,
maintenance.
No, because that applies to everything, not just subdivisions.
No, yeah, keep subdivision in there,
Okay.
because this is all part of the subdivision
Subdivision
application.
regulations.
So if you have a vernal pool on your land,
Mhm.
we're not gonna do anything about regulating it unless you do a subdivision.
Why
Correct?
don't we just leave this?
I think it's a wise decision right now, because DEP is doing a lot of this. Let's leave it.
46.3. High value deer wintering area between Brimstone Pond, Route 111 doesn't exist, does it?
Well, it's actually, yeah, it does. It's actually in that area, but it's not really between Brimstone Pond. It's pretty much, it's on the Du Bois land.
Well, that is kind of like between,
Then leave it.
I don't know.
I don't know how,
Well,
the problem is these keep shifting.
Yeah.
Around, okay,
Why
how
don't
about
we
between?
take out the
How
location?
about
Well,
instead?
just put around high value, as
Yeah.
identified by IFNW would be the way to do it. So
Okay.
it's not something that we do subjectively, it's
The
done by
amended land use ordinance
IFNW.
require that high value deer wintering areas as identified by inland fishing.
Be
whatever,
preserved,
right,
as
Be
part
part
of,
of the preserved open space of a cluster
Yeah.
subdivision.
right. As identified,
Inland fish and wildlife,
I mean,
okay.
inland fisheries.
And so we're just going to get rid of between
Yeah.
Brimstone Pond and Route 111.
I think that's a wise decision,
And
because
instead of
actually,
the, put the word any, so it's any high-value deer wintering area as identified by inland fisheries and wildlife be part of a preserved open space of a cluster subdivision. Okay. And now we have a similar issue with.
Hey, hold on, I gotta catch up here.
Oh, sorry.
Jeez. High value is identified by maintenance and, be part of a preserved open space cluster subdivision. Subdivision. Get rid of cluster, remember? Because we're gonna
Yeah.
be going for
Or a
10 acres,
subdivision.
it's not a
Right.
cluster.
So,
Reserve open space of a subdivision.
no more cluster.
No more clusters, we've got enough of those.
This is a cluster.
I just think that in my head, I don't say it out loud.
I can't help myself.
Well, you go for it then. Okay, 46.4, amend the timber harvesting standards of the land use ordinance to maintain the value of the mythical deer wintering area between Riverstone Pond and Route 111 in accordance with,
Just amend it the way you did with the other one.
okay. So any,
To maintain,
Timber harvest standards.
No, you-
land use ordinance.
Identify any deer, the value of any deer wintering area identified
Just say in accordance with the
Yeah.
recommendations.
by the main,
no, you've already got in accordance with the recommendations
Right.
of the main.
Just
part
take
of
out
the-
between
oh, okay.
and Route 111, take that right out.
Yeah.
Right. Standards of the land use ordinance to maintain the value of deer wintering areas in accordance with the recommendations from the Department of Inland Fisheries.
I think it's gotta be high value. Let's keep the high value in there, okay?
okay.
Because we're not gonna do it for every deer wintering area.
Okay, so we're gonna have high value in this one as well?
Yeah, so
Any,
maintain the value of any high value.
No, maintain-
Maintain the integrity.
Yeah.
Maintain the timber harvesting standards of the land use ordinance to maintain the
High
high
value.
value of deer wintering
Yeah.
areas in accordance with the blah, blah, blah.
All right, to maintain any high value deer wintering area
Yeah, any,
maintain
yeah, take the
in accordance with.
value.
deer wintering areas. Deer-
Well, no, if it's any, it needs to be singular.
Oh, jeez.
All right.
Well, somebody's gotta be the red Nazi around here. I'm glad you're doing it.
No
In
problem.
accordance with recommendations. Okay, that's good, all right, great. Hey, you saved it.
47,
Whoa. What's that?
Adequate
Adequate habitat to sustain populations of wildlife species other than those for which wildlife habitat has been
That is
identified.
weird.
So if there's like a new species that comes,
no, instead of just,
Anything other than
instead
deer.
of just
Deer.
focusing on deer,
Okay,
this gets to the idea, remember we talked about edges and putting open space together so that you had enough space so that the chipmunks didn't have to stand in a line?
Let's not even go there. It's-
okay,
It's the hedgehog provision,
okay.
okay?
Okay, so we're keeping all of that?
Yeah,
Good.
let's not touch it.
48, air quality. Minimize the impact of new development on air quality. Elevated buildings. Why is it that heating systems don't strike me as a major impact on
I
air
don't
quality?
think so either.
Yes?
Because it's carbon
Marty's
based.
garage.
No, we're not gonna adopt air emission standards.
Where are we?
I'm down, I
49 one.
49.
All right, so 48.1 is okay.
yeah.
Sure.
Okay, but 49.1 is silly. And what about 49.2?
Open burning laws. That's what we had the fire department for.
Right,
Yeah.
We are providing materials
Right.
on that, so.
through the fire department.
Yeah, I don't see any problem
All right,
with that.
you wanna get rid of 49.1, or do we wanna adopt our own local air
No.
emission
No,
standards?
well, we won't enforce them, what's the point?
Right, we do that already, so why add to the list? So 49.1 goes bye-bye.
Yeah,
Okay. Fine. Protect scenic resources.
I have a suggestion for 50.1.
Didn't we already go over that?
No. all new commercial, any new commercial buildings be well set back.
So,
They already are.
50.1?
That was my suggestion, yes.
Commercial?
Yeah,
so
what's that?
residential could be right up on the.
Non-residential, is what you mean.
Yeah, because right now it says all buildings, but, you know, if somebody wants to put a garage, let's say their house is already set back, they want to put a garage a little closer to the road, they should be allowed to do that. It's just a residential structure. But if we're gonna, if there's any chance in the future that's going to be a mixed-use district, the commercial buildings should be set back. Just like you did with Kate's Butter.
That's because
But if
this
this
was really.
visual quality is such a high priority for us, which I take it is from the meetings we've had, why should we let somebody stick a house or a garage right up against Route 111?
Well, depends
Why
on
is that
what-
any
I'm
less
not
intrusive
suggesting
than
right
a
up against
commercial
it,
building?
but-
Yeah, but why is it any less intrusive than a commercial building? Still gonna block the view.
Well, I think I'm looking for a balance between again, as always, my preference is no building of any kind. But if you're a resident and you want to put up a house and you're going to be required to have a 100-foot driveway, that becomes cost prohibitive. And I think residences should have a different setback than commercial buildings. I would argue that point all over town.
Why?
Why what? Because of the expense.
It's not expensive, it's never about expense. Remember, setbacks is a design decision.
But
It is
what?
not, it has nothing more than a design decision. Jeez.
Wow, now you have our attention. You have something to say?
You know what? That shook me up enough, I need a chocolate.
If you build a house 30 feet back from the road,
Yeah.
and you have a 30-foot driveway, tell me that's not cheaper than a house 100 feet back with a 100-foot
But the decision,
driveway.
this isn't for, this has nothing to do with economics. This is the hidden reality about setbacks. The idea of the setback is to create a uniform building line of which nothing intrudes inside of that building line. And that's to create a built pattern in there in which everything is at least this far away from the road.
But it
It has
does have
nothing
to
to
do
do
with
with-
economics
with
if you're a
economics.
landowner.
No, it has nothing to do with economics. It's a, you know, it's like anything else. It's a hidden design decision.
Don't have to have a paved driveway.
Don't have to have a driveway at all, you can walk.
Well, you have to have a driveway.
All right,
Well, no, you're right. If you don't have vehicle access, you don't have to have a driveway. Good luck getting oil.
They got
Well-
long hoses.
I
That's true.
still think there should be different rules for commercial versus residential in that area. Or, as I said, any area.
Let's let the planning board slug it out. What am I talking, I don't dodge this one. I get back into this, don't I?
Yeah. No, but if we want to leave it, that's fine. I was making the suggestion.
Well, then we
So
get
what
back
is it?
to like the standards that we were talking about, like in Cape Cod, about, you know, setting them in the valleys or whatever.
Right.
That's where you would use those things
Right.
rather than the setbacks. Because, I mean, you could have a nice little thing, you know, less than 100 feet from the road, you know what I mean? So that's where you would implement these types of standards.
Well,
Right.
I mean, we could put that,
I was just gonna say, is there a way to phrase it, well
Yeah.
set back or
Land, emphasizing landform or
Visually
something like
impaired.
that, visual.
yeah. I mean, if we want to put it in here, we certainly is a good place to put it.
Remember what you said that?
Well,
It's
I-
100
it's on
feet,
that.
it's 100 feet.
It's 100 right now, but
Yeah.
this is aside from that setback, so it would be, minimum land use requirement, all buildings would be, well set back from the road, maintain a landscape buffer, or be, located in unobtrusive
positions.
locations within the landscape.
Yeah, whatever the wording would be for that, yeah.
Um,
So the 100 feet,
But, yeah,
Is
this
not
is not
enough.
looking at the 100
No,
feet.
it isn't enough, it's too much.
It's too much in some places and too little in others.
Yeah,
It's really to amend land use ordinance to require buildings to be unobtrusive, along Route 111.
okay,
That would do it.
Would that do it?
Yep.
to be unobtrusive.
Unobtrusive. Well, that's a big
So
open.
never
thing.
mind the setbacks, to be unobtrusive.
It's performance-based. If
Yeah,
it's behind
you get more
trees, does it
bigger.
matter
Yeah,
if
that's
it's
all
100
good.
feet back, or does it matter if it's 50 feet back? And the object's to make them unobtrusive.
amend land use ordinance to require owned buildings to be unobtrusive from the road and maintain a landscape buffer along Route 111.
No,
Yeah.
just be visually unobtrusive along Route 111. Big open, a lot of chance for performance standards.
Okay.
All right, I'm happy with that, because it accomplishes the task
Right.
without being onerous necessarily,
Right.
depending upon the spot.
It also allows there to be more options.
Yeah, which is what we were looking to do.
Exactly.
All right, 50.2, anybody have a problem with that one?
Keep it.
51. Protect town shoreline and other natural areas. I think in 51.2, where we have urban residential, that needs to be R1 and R2.
And then DB1 we've already changed.
Yeah, the other one we had already fixed. I assume all the numbers in there are still appropriate, Ted?
I don't know, I'm still struggling with this computer on this stuff. For some reason, it really doesn't like underlining in this context. Apple and Microsoft don't always get along. Actually, they never do.
Kind of repetitive, isn't it, from 44, a lot of the,
Yes, there's a number of places where it does that.
yes, yes, I know.
Well, that's just to bulk it up, so it looks like there's been a lot of thought with it.
Well, when we do the final draft on this, it's gonna be half as long as it used to be, so.
That's true. Where are we, I'm sorry, I finally caught up, I think.
Okay, 51.1 and 2 have lots of numbers with regards to 100-foot shoreline zone and 250-foot shoreline. Are all those numbers still accurate?
Thought it was 250.
Where is the Rundle Swamp?
Rundle Swamp's down on River Road, it's basically Kitty Bassett's land.
Oh, okay.
It's actually in all the history books.
That brook is over by Downing Road that crosses,
Crosses the Downing Road?
Yeah.
yeah, crosses the Downing Road.
Goes into the river. Starts at Duck Pond. But what's Skillins? Or is it just South Skillins Road? I think it's South Skillins.
South Skillings, yeah.
And it meanders down to the river. Across Downing Road, that's where it floods, where it's taken out Downing Road Bridge before.
Yeah,
And then
So
at 51.2.
Davis Pond dumps into that, right?
Yeah.
or that dumps into Davis?
It
No,
does.
the other
do.
way, which way does it go? I
No.
don't know.
Davis
But yeah.
Pond, Davis Pond crosses the Limerick Road, goes
Yeah.
down to the.
Yeah.
It's south.
Yeah,
In 51.2, where it says urban residential areas,
Yeah,
should say R1 and R2.
that brook is the culvert, they're gonna be changing, I think, soon,
Yeah.
that, the new culvert that you're gonna relocate.
What's the name of the brook by my house? That feeds into Davis Pond.
I don't think it's got a name.
It does.
If it does, I'd like to know, because I don't have any data. I'm serious. I don't know of any names.
I think it's part of that whole,
It does have a name.
Dansbrook.
Purgatory Brook.
All right, moving on.
Yes, thank you so much. 51.3, have we have any problem with that?
we have to anyway.
Yeah, I know.
No, we don't.
Well,
No, we don't.
Right, but we have
If
to.
we choose not to,
And we have to do it ourselves.
no, they have to do it.
All right, let's not get into that discussion
Okay.
because it's still Tuesday.
Right.
52, policy, any problem with that? For the two actions that follow?
I think it's 250.
The same thing that we just said earlier, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah, it's repetitious. What is this?
All right, so
Take it out.
that's the problem.
Oh, these are structures, what's the difference?
Right.
100 foot, 100 foot.
One provides shoreline zoning and the other one's structure setbacks.
Or current setback, it's the same thing up above.
Oh, how about we provide shoreline zoning and setbacks that protect water quality?
In policy 51, yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah, shoreline zoning and structure setbacks.
Right.
yeah, bang, and then you get rid of
Yeah.
52.
because it repeats itself. And Tad will check on
Oh, I will
the setbacks.
Yeah, you want me to change the setback, if they're, I will update the setbacks if these are
Incorrect.
antiquated.
Okay.
Perfect.
So we're getting rid of
Nothing worse
52. Tell me what you just changed. Sam.
Provide shoreline zoning and structure setbacks that protects water quality in 51, the heading,
The policy.
the policy.
Shoreline zoning
And
setbacks from
setback.
structures.
And
Is that-
Setbacks from structures.
Oh, okay.
That protects water.
Provide shoreline zoning and
Well, we're not
setbacks.
providing.
No, just
setbacks from
shoreline zoning
structures.
setbacks, because these are shoreline zoning setbacks.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah,
Right, but.
No, you're right.
Yeah, it's
It's
setbacks,
setback.
structures, because we're not providing setbacks from the structures, we're providing it from the shoreline.
Right. So,
What?
zoning
Yes.
and structure setbacks.
Yes.
Not setbacks from structures.
What?
You're thinking like a
No,
duck.
no, I want you to tell me what the setback is in the shoreline zone.
Right, structure setback.
But that is shoreline zone.
Right.
The
But I
structure
think-
setback, look, there's two ways to do shoreline zoning setbacks. One is from structures and one is from an activity. An activity would be grading, for instance.
Okay,
Look at 52.
I'm looking at 52.
Okay. Continue to provide structure setbacks. All we're doing is taking that and combining it with 51. So is there another way to phrase that? Because it's repetitious.
Yeah, what's wrong
We
with the
just-
way to provide, or continue to, let's provide, maintain shoreline zoning setbacks from structures that protect water quality. Get rid of 52.
Okay.
yeah.
Well, change
I know what
provide
you're
to
saying.
maintain.
I think I understand what he's saying.
Right, how about, I mean, instead of saying that, could we say, provide shoreline zoning? Oh, yeah, just
But what
add
is
that
shoreline
on.
zoning if it isn't a setback? That's what it is.
So
It's
then
a
leave it.
restriction of the use. It's a restriction of uses
Okay, so
within the
Provide
district.
shoreline zoning, setbacks, uses and structure setbacks that protect water quality, I don't know, or setbacks for uses and structures.
You're defining the setbacks in the action items. So you don't
Right.
have to put setbacks in the policy.
Okay.
So you
In
can
the
say
policy,
provide
you're just saying
shoreline
provide
zoning.
So
zoning,
just take out 52, right?
but we need to add structures.
Yep, that works. I think the problem is looking for English and this is government.
Well,
Yeah,
the
because-
problem is, what's the setback from? I mean, you say it's a setback. Setback for what kind of activity? You putting a driveway in? No, we allow driveway crossings in certain zones. I mean, you know, shoreline zoning is not monolithic. It's 3 different districts, basically.
So you leave 51 alone and you take out 52 and get that all covered.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yep.
Okay, all right,
Although, yeah,
Yep.
it's the same stuff.
okay.
Okay.
So, there we go. Thank you.
Wait,
I don't know why it's repetitious.
I don't know.
I think it's a filler.
Using articles in the arrow.
And on the
Arrows
website.
again? Oh,
And on the website.
where?
53.1.
We're gonna add website. These
Using
articles.
articles in the arrow and in the, and on the website,
And letters
Town's
to
website.
as well as letters, so it's better reading.
As well.
Who's gonna send those?
Simone.
Okay.
Done with the arrow.
All right, using articles in the arrows and on the town website.
Not to get into a big discussion, but why are we encouraging agriculture any more than we would want to
Right.
encourage coal mining or granite extraction?
Well,
or-
because we-
We can encourage a million things.
I know, but I think one of the other things is, more importantly, from a tax standpoint, why are we encouraging participation in the open space and tree growth programs?
Because it gets reimbursed.
Yeah, and then they,
Well-
folks come in wanna talk to us about not getting fined.
Because the goal is to preserve the town's agricultural resources.
And without those programs, a lot of landowners who have land in those programs might not be able to afford to keep them open, which in turn invites housing development, which in turn invites children, which in turn invites higher school taxes. So it's one great, big, connected piece.
I don't see
So
that.
let's cut that.
Well, that's
It's
honestly how it's gonna
theoretically
work.
great, but
Trust me,
I think this is where we come into also talking about some of the things we've talked about in our district. And this is where we come in and say, also encourage incentive zoning that will preserve agricultural soils. That's one of the things we talked about.
Oddly
This is where it
enough,
belongs.
I happen to have two suggestions for new actions here.
Is that one of
which-
them?
It addresses that issue not as well as you just did. But let's destroy what's here first.
Okay, using articles in the Arrow and on the town website, along with letters written by Simone to potential qualifying individuals.
All right, and we've said that elsewhere in this document as well,
We've
so.
said this several times.
Yeah,
Mhm.
all right, 53.2 we got rid of the last time it came up. So we should probably get rid of it again.
Didn't we?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was the one, the assessor
Liberally
should liberally
construe,
construe, and we
yeah.
said, oh, what's that? That's gotta go away.
The assessor thanks you.
I think 53.3
53.3 should probably go away.
Yes, treated sewage sludge, I don't know that that's.
It's not happening anymore, I don't think.
Good, can I get rid of it on the zoning ordinance?
Sure.
Good, thank you.
Assuming this passes a town meeting. And 53.4 makes sense.
Yeah, that's like a
Fine.
stand, farm stand or something.
There's a few things that you want to add.
Yes, I have two.
Yeah, we've already done this, but that's okay, keep
Okay, now, one of my suggestions is amend the land use ordinance to allow expanded animal husbandry uses on large parcels in residential districts. Because we did that when we wrote up the descriptions. So it should probably be here.
Amend the land use
it.
Amend
You
the
wanna put
land-
it here, or do you wanna put it?
54.3?
I think it makes sense here, because it's an agricultural resource.
Oh, or 50,
I was
you're
also
talking in
looking at
53?
55.
55.
Just provide market opportunities.
That's a market
No, I think
opportunity,
so.
not a production opportunity.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, amend the land use ordinance to allow expanded animal husbandry uses on large parcels in the residential districts.
Districts.
Oh, God, I always have a spelling Nazi.
districts.
Districts.
Help, let me. Oh, boy, wow. It's all the keywords' fault.
In the residential districts.
Yeah, I said that right.
Yeah, I was
This is
reading it for Sean.
53.3. This is the new 53.3. Oops, I gotta put action. Action! Oops. Come on. Oh, man. One of those situations when fuckers all help each other. Okay, that's all new, all in order. All right,
Okay,
Love it.
now, the other one that addresses what you've said before, is, yours was better, I think, but, encourage preservation of valuable agricultural land. Especially in the northwest portion of the town.
Agricultural land.
Cultural
Mm,
lands, how about soils, how would that be? Lands, soils, slash
Is it what?
soils.
Yeah, all right, that's fine.
Because sometimes soils have structures on them and they're not farmed right now,
Yep.
so.
Encourage the
but-
preservation of valuable agricultural land slash soils, especially in the northwest portion of the town.
How about if we do this, especially, because there's more to this. Through the use, through incentive zoning, via incentive zoning, and TDRs.
Incentive zoning,
How about an TDR?
I like that.
I told you. See, I can be a politician.
Is that what that was?
I don't know. That sounded good. So that's 53.4. See, we can add stuff too.
We can.
Action.
Action.
And while you're doing that, straighten out your dash on the previous one. You're missing a space between action and your hyphen.
That's because they use a different hyphen than I
No, that's not why.
do. Yeah.
No, when we have more time than this, I'll explain why that worked that way, but that's okay.
Okay, well,
Word
I'm
that
willing
does that.
to surrender this secretarial position here.
You can't surrender, you've been convicted.
As
Okay,
always.
anything else for 53?
I'm gonna change this.
No, 54.
I was waiting to see what he's gonna change, because he's learning for himself.
Well, because we gotta do another amendment here. What are we doing, this ninth,
Fine.
amended June 9th? I wanna just make sure I separate this from the other ones.
Okay, 54.
Say, 54.
Has that been done?
I don't ever recall seeing that.
Do we even have any say in it anymore if the school lunch program is under the RSU?
54.1.
Where are you guys?
Your head,
Oh,
your head, John.
54, I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I'm 55.
It says amendments, subdivision regulations to require notes on subdivision plans in the designated rural areas to alert potential lot purchasers that the area has been designated by the town for forestry and agricultural purposes, and that residents may be subjected to disturbances from these activities.
No.
No, we don't do that.
For example, there might be
Notes,
things.
I have enough notes on this subdivision plans. Do you wanna put that in there?
No.
I mean, it's like saying, well, you know, this is kind of a rural area, and there might be coyotes barking at night, you know, there's gonna be chainsaws.
Okay, so what are we gonna do with that? Yank it.
So I think it makes sense to do that, because that way you avoid the problem of, Joe suburb moving in to someplace that's been used for animal husbandry for years and say, oh, I can't stand the smell of that cow.
They bite
Like the
during
farm.
winter time, then come spring when they start putting manure out into the fields.
My favorite time of the year.
Well, kind of like on a side note, and I don't remember if we had this put on the note or if we had them put on the findings of fact, but there was a subdivision going on off the mountain road to Bedford and Arundel town line. I don't think it was Petron, but Petron had a motorcycle track there.
Yeah.
And we had them either on the plan or findings of fact state that there is an existing motorcycle, because we didn't want the folks from Arundel, or the folks from Biddeford coming in or saying, hey, you gotta shut this down, or I can't
Right.
remember the exact things, but we did something. I mean, this isn't the same thing, but it's kind of along the
It's the
same
same
line.
principle, right?
Right,
Don't move in and then try to
That's
ask me
before
the
my
fact.
time, because this is not familiar.
yeah.
I don't even know where the subdivision is.
It's, as soon as you turn on to the, you take the, from the mountain road, you turn on the old Alfred Road,
Yeah,
you come right around the corner, well, there was, Bedford was doing a I think it's still there, doing a subdivision up over there off
Yeah,
Peterson's
yeah.
land. So if I remember right, there were some lots in Bedford, and there were some lots in Rundle.
good.
And next to one of those lots, one of the patrons, I don't know if it was patrons, or one of them,
Yeah.
they had a dirt track out there. That they, on somebody's land, and they would just ride their dirt bikes all the time.
That, well, see, that's a good alert, because I
And
mean,
we
that
didn't
does
want-
tell people, here's your neighbor here, in case the agent, strangely enough, didn't show you this on the way in.
And we were working with Benefit at the time, and if I remember correctly, we told them that this needs to be put on the, again, I can't remember if it was a note or if it was on the findings of fact in Bedford, so that Bedford residents wouldn't complain because I know one of the kids riding his dirt bike had been there for 15 years, 15
Right.
years. So,
All
we
right, well,
have done that in
then
principle.
let's keep it.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think it's a reasonable, a reasonable thing to do. Not very often would you need to do it, but I think it's a reasonable thing.
How about, you wanna put in motorized sports purposes?
I don't know, we wanna put it under, conflicts between residential uses and commercial, agricultural, and forest management.
It would be between rural uses and commercial.
Maybe we can find another place for that. All right, 50, where are we? We're just doing
54.2.
54.2. Encourage farm operators, technical assistance, conserve natural.
Yeah, it's called, NR CS. Can't even remember what they call it.
Is anybody gonna actually do this, or is this another?
Well, I'll tell you, actually NRCS is actually starting to change their own attitude. They're starting to come back into farmers' lives again. And that's the old SCS, which used to be the farmer's best friend. They do your free farm
But
ponds.
does this really fall under this whole conflicts, minimize conflicts?
I don't know how it's minimizing any kind of.
No?
Right. And also, is it the place of the town to do that?
Well, yeah, it is. I mean, what it's saying is go to your SCS agent so you don't, just plow up that stream or let your cows. Why don't you provide water, surface water to your cows over here rather than have them drink in that stream and they defecate it as it goes down to that subdivision? That's kind of what it's saying.
Okay, all right.
If we have a situation like this where we did have that, I probably would tell the farmer, go talk to the guys at SCS, they have programs to be able to help you to get water supply up to a place where it's not gonna pollute the stream. And besides, DEP does get upset about that once they get it all off.
55, 55.1 probably needs to go away.
This is yours now, school lunch program.
Yeah.
Take it away, John.
Instead of 55.1 though, can we change? Right now we have promote farmers market, but could we add like,
Farm stands?
farm stands? Yeah, something about,
What was her name's Wool?
allow, like setbacks, we reduce setbacks and, for like farm stand type
We already
things.
have that.
Continue to promote farm stands and, or whatever for local.
Promote
products.
farmers markets, farm stands, and retail,
Agricultural retail.
Promote what?
it's actually called farm retail.
Yeah.
We have already done it.
Farmers market, farm stands, and
And
farm
farm
retail
retail operations.
operations.
Very, wow, what minds.
Yeah,
All I'm worried about is striking the local school lunch program.
How about how about we put in here, where possible, invite Michelle Obama to promote local produce for the local school program, lunch program.
so that means 55.1 goes, right? Yeah.
Farm retail. So we have one thing,
Yep. But
that's our marketing?
Well, that's why I said, that's why I was thinking of putting it as 55.1, the farm stands, and, well, we've already got the farmers market, so.
Oh, so you want to separate, so we
I
can
was
say
gonna
beef
separate
there.
it just to keep it true.
No, let's continue with our attitude of less is more.
Okay.
Any other opportunities that we can do for locally produced agricultural products? How about sending a mission to China on a regular basis?
We could advertise what's locally available in the Arrow.
Or on town website.
Or town website and letters to,
You can line it up on the Arrow.
It's called-
Come on.
Simone's lunch ideas.
What's growing in Arundel?
There we go.
Besides.
Besides cannabis.
Grazing in Arundel. Yeah. Okay. we're losing-
I just
we're
want
losing
to
our edge
remind
here,
us all
folks.
that this is recorded.
oops, the battery fell out.
Historic
It
and
does, it's a lot.
archaeological resources.
All good actions. Love them. Perfect. Let's move on.
Are you serious?
I'm serious, it's good, it's
We
good
have,
stuff.
we have,
However, go ahead.
yeah, I was gonna say, an inventory, the only inventory we have is basically what we did for the 350th that Wendy put together on some of the old houses, but.
Let's put it in there so when historic preservation grants become available, or we go through, let's say, private organizations like Ford Foundation, or Bill and Wendy Gates, or whatever it is, that we have it, we can identify, when you do these grants, you can say, this is a goal in our comprehensive plan. It helps you when you do grant writing, it really does.
Would it be worthwhile to put in a phrase, it's to work with, now that we have one, the Arundel Historical Society? To identify and develop strategies?
Absolutely. I think it's absolutely perfect.
Okay.
And
So
I'm glad that, and
56.3.
I'm glad that Sean made that suggestion, that it came from a non-AHS person.
Well, I'm not wearing that hat tonight.
See? You're a public up. If I had known, I would have worn mine.
He's a vice splasher.
So is that 56.3 then, or?
Well, no, I was gonna suggest we just change the policy, so it says, work with the AHS to identify and develop strategies. And then you just leave the action.
Well, why don't we put it in as an action? Because I don't want to just leave it just strictly AHS.
Yeah,
All right, that works.
okay, so action is work with the AHS
Yep.
to,
Well, why don't you put it under 56.1, work with the AHS.
Yeah, why don't we do, that would be the
conduct
first
an
policy.
Inventory of historic buildings and sites.
That works.
And other, work with the AHS and other organizations. So that would also mean State Historic Preservation Society, right?
Yep,
Okay.
that works
I
for
like
me.
that. Should we say support the Arundel Historic Society? Oh, but we all do.
no, work,
We have no choice, they browbeat us to death.
But it's done in a very nice way.
It is, it's very much of a velvet
we're
hammer.
having a supper on.
That's right, there's a supper on the 25th. We go.
Hang on to your wallets, boys.
Two kinds of meats, and bring your own fork.
Trying to save on overhead. Okay. I like that.
What you gonna
We're
add?
gonna add other
Other organizations.
organizations, right?
God, you guys are so wordy.
You suggested it.
I don't remember that. Is it in the minutes?
No, we're gonna take,
The battery fell out. Okay, great. Minimize impacts of new development on areas with potential archaeological resources. Areas identified by whom as having any potential archaeological significance requires site analysis will be defined. I have a problem with that.
Have we ever had any of them?
actually,
yeah,
there's
actually we
part,
have.
whatever it is we're not working on in the comp plan, there's a section that has potential archaeological
It does.
resources. And the Indian burial sites we have in town.
And not to mention the seashell mounds
Yep,
that we have along Goff's Mill and
yeah.
a couple other places.
So yes,
Yeah, we do have resources, and we do actually need to do a better job of recognizing them. Hey, you wanna put in here, make a reference to, planning board should make a refer applications involving historic or archaeological resources to the HS?
sure.
Like we we're about to do with the dam?
Sure.
Say that again?
So is that 57.2?
I'm sorry, I'm adding things, aren't I?
That's okay.
I was gonna say, planning board, in situations where suspected archaeological or historic resources involved, the planning board should invite input from the Arundel Historic Society on on the applications. Or seek a reference, seek a referral from the AHS on any potential project involving archaeological or historic resources.
So would the AHS be the right organization to go for on archaeological?
They got the map. Would they be, no, you'd also have.
God has spoken.
Is that like the guy who's got the one bullet in town? Call him in, we need him now. He's the only one with a bullet. I don't know, the archaeological would be.
Probably not archaeological, historic.
Right.
Historic. And archaeological, what would happen is anything that's really is significant, I mean, you're still gonna have state planning office, or state historic preservation office involved. But the one thing that in state historic preservation office does not do is they don't get excited about local resources. If anything's vernacular, they don't really care.
Right.
You know, they only care if it's a fantastic piece of archaeological history. Things like any of the houses that you folks moved would not excite them in the least.
No, we know that, because we already spoke
They
to them.
yawned,
And-
right?
and, yeah, they basically said, yeah, it's a house, you can probably do something with it if we cared.
Exactly, and see, I don't have a lot of, they do great work, but they're looking for national registered quality stuff all the time.
Yeah.
And I think we have resources here that may not titillate somebody in Ohio, but they're important to us, significant. They have significance to the people who live in this town. And they're part of our history, and they should be considered in any application. And this would give the planning board some power to be able to recognize them as having significance.
Okay, so is that gonna go under
56,
56 or 57?
56, because we're not talking about archaeological.
Right, so 56.3? Or?
Yeah, because 50.2 kind of follows
Point
.1.
three, point one, yeah. So, how are we gonna word this?
Well, let's, let Tad go for it.
Oh, God, I was hoping you were gonna say
Action.
Sorry.
There's the format Nazi now. Fine, now I've lost my place.
Space.
Double space, yes,
Space,
got
dash,
it,
space.
got it. Oh, look at that.
Push ball.
Okay.
We're gonna mess it up and move 56 later.
We're gonna have a workshop on this tomorrow. You guys can all come.
How many people does it take to type a sentence?
Really? Okay, let's see, what am I trying to say?
Encourage the planning board.
Yeah, I didn't want to start off that way.
No.
I want to say, planning board should,
Utilize the Historical Society as a resource. How's that?
use me, Seymour, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, utilize the Arundel Historic Society.
Historical.
Okay. You didn't catch it, I probably.
Nope.
Call me and utilize it, and state, no, let's just leave it that way.
Or you can say, and other organizations.
And.
Other resources or?
Other organizations as resources in, go ahead.
not in, but when.
In planning review, in reviews.
Oh, okay.
I was gonna say,
Well, what are you throwing at me for?
In planning review?
we can keep throwing back and forth.
We can, yes.
Your turn.
Duck occasionally, John.
Right. I utilize it as resources in the evaluation
Okay, as
of,
resources in the, we're changing. in the-
subdivision
Wait,
and site plan.
What's
Views.
the subdivision?
what are subdivisions?
I'm on a roll. Resources, conduct about
Resources and evaluation of the site plan.
Evaluation of subdivision and site plan projects. Review. Oh, now he's getting fancy, typing two sentences at
I
once.
can't even read it from here. No, that's not right. Even glasses.
I have the glasses and I still can't read half the time.
I can increase the size of the lettering if that would help.
No, I'm sure.
Utilize the Arundel Historical Society and other organizations as resources in the evaluation of subdivisions and site plan projects reviewed by the planning board.
All right.
Shouldn't it, shouldn't it,
Which,
shouldn't it say something on the order of, site, subdivision and site plans which have significant potential for historic value or something?
Yeah,
You don't wanna
be-
you gotta add a disclaimer here as to
Yeah.
when they're gonna do this, otherwise
Yeah.
that.
or you could just say at the end, which involve or which.
How about the evaluation of historic and archaeological? Because we're talking about other organizations.
That's true.
Evaluation.
Archaeological
Factors.
resources.
They can't use that again.
We can,
Issues.
no,
Um,
they are resources. Let's get rid of the other resources.
Let me know when you're done, I'll copy paste it.
Okay.
Email me your final version.
Archaeological.
Like factors.
What's a historic factor?
An archaeological, anything that has to do with historic value or archaeological value.
As resources.
Significance.
I think it should be
Potential.
the evaluation of potentially significant historic and archaeological values or something along that line. Well, how about just the evaluation, resources in the evaluation of subdivision sites which have potential for historic or archaeological significance.
how about we get rid of that whole business in the middle and at the end say, reviewed by the planning board, which may have historical or archaeological impact.
I like significance better
I
than
do
impact.
too.
Okay,
So I'm thinking about
Yeah.
as meteor.
well, I was working with the impact of the project on the thing as opposed to the significance of the thing, but yeah. I agree with you.
I'll agree with you. Let's move on to the next one, or we're gonna be until
Right,
2
yeah,
a.m.
I'll figure something out here, okay, how's that? Does that work? I'll come back to it, why don't you guys go ahead?
I like that in red.
I was gonna say the planning board should use the Arundel Historic Society as a resource in the evaluation of historic, evaluation of projects that may impact historic and archaeological resources of local or national significance, local or statewide significance. Okay, the crowd is on their feet. Thank you, John.
That's all right.
Play with that and we will
Come back, we'll come back.
look at outdoor recreation.
I would say, provide information to property owners and sportsmen to assure that the streams are whatever available for hunting. Or provide contact with inland fisheries resources to property owners and sportsmen. Because they have their whole landowner program now.
So you're looking at 58.1.
Right, I'm sorry, am I jumping in?
No, I just want to make sure
Yeah.
I was in the right spot. So say that again?
So, well, I think Sim, when, you know, that action link there, you know, work with property owners, well, I'm not, sportsman isn't good. Work with property owners to ensure that wood streams and river frontages remain available for hunting and fishing. That's kind of like when a subdivision comes in town for review, right? The planning board works with them to make sure that, you know, they try to make everything, you know, the rivers and streams, but this really goes beyond that. This goes with just the local, regular residences, right?
Yes, this applies to everybody.
Yeah.
Thing is, does the town really do much with property owners about
Well,
that?
I think a
So
lot
that's-
of times, you know, like we've had some people that we've referred to Rick Laflamme now that we know that he's the agent for the landowner, you know, with the inland fisheries. So I think the town can provide the information or contact information with inland fisheries and wildlife landowners program or something, but I don't think we would directly with them. I don't know about the planning board, but the town office is, I think would be more to provide the contacts, you know.
So basically like the, town office, they provide information, contact information with the Department of Inland Fisheries and Wildlife.
With landowner program or something, or just.
If you leave it as is, I mean, that gives you the opportunity to
Work with them, yeah, you can work with them.
provide them with whatever we got, whether it's
That's
bricks
true.
or whether it's, hey,
Planning
here's a
board
new
or
hunting
something.
regulation book, or here's a new whatever, you know?
Yeah, that's fine.
I have no problem with the way that's worded now, because it certainly is open.
Yeah.
Okay, I do have a little problem with 59.1.
We just go by whatever state laws. or-
Yeah.
We don't have a shotgun ordinance or anything like that.
Well,
Some towns
the
do.
policy itself, I mean, is that establish a sensible hunting and recreational policy on private and public land in Arundel? I mean, do we even need that policy?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, where's this coming from?
I don't know.
This is, first of all, this is walking in the selectmen's turf.
Mm.
Second of all, it only occurs when there comes a point when selectmen
Right,
may have to designate areas shotgun only,
right.
but that's only as development occurs
Right. I
to a
say,
certain level, and you know, the 300-foot rule still applies.
I say you take that out.
Yeah.
59 is gone completely.
Yeah.
I agree.
Sounds good to me.
I think that'll get some votes right there. That might vote.
And the last one. See a comment with that?
Should we have anything about the Eastern Trail in here or not?
Sure.
Of course.
Well,
Yeah.
we've already beaten Eastern Trail to death, haven't we?
No, it's still
Oh.
plenty of room to beat it up.
Part of recreational, outdoor recreation?
I think Eastern Trail does deserve a mention in there. We're
Okay.
talking about, you know,
It's outdoor
affordable
recreation.
recreational opportunities. That's one of the assets we've got, and I agree with Simone. I think it should be in.
So, let's have some words.
Simone?
Nice punt.
Encourage utilization of Eastern Trail.
Am I mentioning it in the arrow and on the website?
Letters from Simone?
Yeah, I'm sure she has some good trail mix snacks.
We just gotta
How about-
incorporate
how
our
about
house on
continue
the
to
Ralph
support-
Trail.
Continue to support, yeah?
The Eastern Trail and
No.
develop new programs?
I don't like that.
Yeah.
What?
No, I don't like the continue to support. I think we should encourage the use of the Eastern
Okay.
Trail. I think that's more.
Yeah.
For
Well, then,
how about
could-
encourage the use of the Eastern Trail for individual and group activities? You know, if people wanna do
That do not
road
require
races or something
Powered
like that.
vehicles.
What's the problem with the support?
Because you know, every year this comes up at town meeting, right, to cut funding and cut, and
Yeah.
the support
Yeah.
throws a dollar figure at it.
Yes, it
And I
does.
don't think we should put that in here. I think it's just, you know, we wanna promote it, we want people to use it, but I wanna keep a dollar figure out of it. And I think as soon as you say support, people right off the bat think of a dollar figure.
I
And I
agree.
Well,
don't want ammunition
What's
added.
60.2? That's a dollar figure right there, isn't it? That's a big.
Yes,
dollar
but there is more of an acceptance for ball fields, I think, because this has been a long-going thing throughout the town. You know, we've always said that we don't have enough ball fields, and I just, when you talk about ball fields and outdoor, that never comes up at a town meeting. It never, I don't ever recall anybody bitching or complaining about it.
Because you've never proposed one.
But seek funding also is very open in terms of, it could be a grant, it could be donations, doesn't necessarily mean a tax dollar. But I agree with you, support the Eastern Trail, that's tax money.
Yeah. I think we leave it as encouraged, we've got it covered,
Yeah.
right?
Wow.
Well, I mean.
Encourage the Eastern Trail and don't forget
Encourage the
to
use of
stop
the
at the
Eastern
trails
Trail
head.
for individual and
Like
group
Route.
recreational activities. I would just put that there, just so you mention it, you
Yeah,
know,
no, I like that.
recreational activities, yeah.
Well, individual and group.
And group recreational activities, yeah. Because I know, that like, Jen has used the Eastern Trail for the rec program, and they had a nature course on there, and they had, I think they released an owl or something, or whatever, and, with inland fisheries, so they had a joint activity thing for a rec program there, so we could put individual and group recreational activities. Yeah. And it still mentions it without.
Yeah, and
saying-
it mentions it, it shows that, you know, we're interested in it, we
Yeah.
want people to use it, we want,
Yeah.
you know, we don't want this thing to go away, it has some
Why,
value and.
why are we so scared of supporting it?
Why? You know, because, you know,
We've got it covered with that comment right there. To me, it's covered with that comment. I think the word support, from a selectman's perspective, you don't know how hard we fought to try to get parking over there. Because it
Oh,
takes
I
one
know.
or two people to sit there and argue that we're spending money for the Eastern Trail and it comes up at every single freaking town hall meeting. People bitch and it just, I'd
No,
rather
but
tread away from it.
This is why I'm saying we ought to say that we support it. Let's get out.
That's
in front
saying it
of
right
this
there.
thing.
To me, that's saying it right there.
Dan, we had problems, we had a couple of people complain, but you were there at town meeting last year, where everybody put their hand up. I don't, you know, you're putting 2 or 3 people versus a whole room full of people.
But two or three people can create havoc at town meeting. We've seen
They
that
can
happen.
create havoc in
And-
any situation.
And you get into a situation like we're gonna be into this year, with a wicked budget crunch, we're gonna have issues. I can guarantee you. I'll bet my paycheck on it. And why give them ammunition? You've got it covered.
I think you get to a point where if you don't have the internal fortitude to stand up for what you believe in and what you support, then it's a pretty sorry state of affairs. Personally, I think that Eastern Trail is a hell of an asset for this town. I think we should be encouraging the development of some facilities around the trailhead. And I think we ought to bite the bullet and pay the dues to keep the Eastern Trail alive, like we obligated ourselves to 10 years ago, and fulfill our commitment. And when we have a couple of people, like who maybe live across the street from the Eastern Trail, who want to get up at town meeting and complain, I have to say that we should be looking out for the interest of the whole town, not a very small number of people who are against it. You can find a small number of people who are against anything.
I think Simone's comment the way that she wrote it, covers that, it wasn't true. But guys, do what you want, but, you know, I'm all done, that's my comment, and I'm done. We're not gonna sit here and argue about this all night
No,
long.
because we're at 60, so you tell me what's right.
The last time we referenced the Eastern Trail, what did we say? That we may be able to solve this just by being consistent.
It was something about getting this, it was along the same lines of what we're talking about now.
Well, yeah, that's why I'm looking for the language we use there, because we were happy with it 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Was it 22? That's something, okay, continue to promote use of the Eastern Trail,
Where are you?
22.3.
Thank you.
I just did some chicken scratching here, so I don't know exactly what we came up with, but.
Yeah,
Continue to
22.3.
promote use of these, yeah.
Let me take a look.
So we promoted.
Yeah, continue to promote the use of the Eastern Trail, that's it.
So, I mean, we put the same sentence in this one, continue to promote the use of the Eastern Trail for individual recreational, group recreational activities, or just leave it? Or just put,
Well-
continue to promote the Eastern Trail?
Even if we got rid of the word continue, just said promote,
Promote.
which is stronger than encourage, but not as strong as support. I don't know.
No, I think we've gotta come to some compromise, I
promote.
think that's probably as
Yeah.
good a thing.
Yeah,
as
so
any.
promote the Eastern Trail.
Promote
Promote
the use,
use.
continued use and expansion of
Use and
programs on the
utilization.
Eastern Trail. I would put expansion of programs on it, because it's a resource that we don't have to put enough programs on. And we should have programs on it, it's a 2-mile-long park.
So instead of,
Promote use of the Eastern Trail for individual and group recreational activities is one possible way to go. Now, what did you say, Tad? Promote use of the Eastern Trail,
And expand organized recreational activities on it. And promote use of the Eastern Trail and
expand opportunities, how about expand opportunities for individual and group recreational activities?
programs. What about programs? Just activities.
Activities.
slash education.
Slash, you know, fundraisers.
Hashtag.
I gotta know.
All right, I think out of all of that, I think I got it.
promote the use of the Eastern Trail
Promote,
and expand,
continue to promote these,
no, just promote the use of the.
Promote use of the Eastern Trail and expand opportunities for individual and group. How about individual activities and group, no, that won't work, and individual and group recreational activities. Activities can be programmed just as easily,
For
yeah.
individual and group
Promote use of the Eastern Trail and expand opportunities for individual and group recreational activities.
why individual? You know, I wonder if, when we just say, you know, organized events and
Yeah, but then the
programs.
town, I don't know.
Well, we have a recreation program, they do that, that's their job.
Well, yeah, but not everything that goes on there is gonna be an organized activity.
No, but I'm saying,
It can
but
be
that's one,
individual.
we use it now, but we don't promote, we don't use it as a town park or have activities on there, we don't have
Well,
an
yeah.
interpretive.
We had that
It's not wide
time,
enough to have kickball fields, so.
they had,
Nope.
well, they also had a race, a couple of races, then Delvin and children's races, not last summer.
Right,
And then they had
that's
this,
the events and the
they had a
programs.
couple of programs with inland fisheries that they had animal, wildlife things on the trail and
Yeah,
stuff
that was
like that.
3 years ago.
And that's through
Okay.
the rec, that's all through rec.
Yeah,
so.
well, it said that is.
So I think if we just leave it like as individual and group recreational programs or activities.
Activities, because activities covers individual things, it also covers group things.
Yeah.
And I don't see where a program makes it
Any different.
any different than activities.
So expand
Expand opportunities
And that works well with 58, because you could release a deer back into the wild and then have someone 100 yards off.
for individual and group
I met a moose
recreational.
on the Eastern Trail. Didn't have a gun.
Watch all the kids' faces as baby gets shot.
Yeah.
Or then you can have a group program for therapy.
I remember one movie actually had a field dress of deer.
Alright,
Okay,
works for me.
all right, we're still working on,
Yeah,
56.3, which is-
I need to walk away from it,
yeah.
really do.
Just highlight it in red so that you know it, and go back to it.
Oh, it's got enough red in it right now. I'll go back to it, I'll send it all to you.
I like that version.
Yeah. Go back to it. All right, now we gotta go down to the next section.
Capital investment?
We're not gonna touch that.
No,
It's so old.
implementation plan. Well, basically, yeah, we just have to make this match the policy, which I don't see how we can easily do
No,
until we have a draft of all the changes we've made.
Okay,
So,
here's our draft, so I need to print this draft out.
you just have to make that match the implementation plan,
Okay,
or make the implementation plan match that. So if you just do that and then get it to us for proofing, we're done.
okay, how about the priorities in these things? Shall I set the priority?
No,
Okay. Then
Nice
let's
try.
deal with this. Are we out of here, is that what you're telling me?
no, we can, let's
So,
play with priorities.
okay, well then.
All right, yeah, go, yeah, I guess that's the only way to do this.
Yeah, I think we,
Continue to publish the arrow.
low.
It's still a high priority, it's ongoing, in so many ways. But nice try. All right, stop doing that, just, you can't do that.
We changed
No,
it to a regular basis.
we need to read the,
We changed it to a regular basis.
You want me to, what you want me to do is you want me to,
you need to leave that on the screen so we can read that and coordinate it with the implementation plan.
but I gotta write it down.
Well, Simone will tell you what we decide.
There you go.
Okay, continue to publish the
we're not-
arrow.
On a regular basis is the way we get it.
Yeah, let's not edit these statements, because we've already edited
No,
them.
we're not.
All we need to do is edit the priorities and,
Okay.
Support organizations which organize community events.
fine.
Wow,
Wait a
did
second,
we
wait a
really say
minute,
that?
what did we decide about the arrow?
it's still high priority.
Five? That was a meeting.
Oh, it's a high priority. I
Take
have
the
to
vote.
take-
Take the vote
I have to take
here.
to prove that.
Communications is high.
That's right.
Okay. Notice it says town manager, not town clerk.
It's called delegation,
You're
that's
absolutely
why I'm
right.
the IT guy.
And whoever we hire should have that on his desk first thing, that Monday morning. All right, 1.2. We got, support.
Support organizations which organize community events.
Jeez, that ought to be told. That's about as bland as you can get.
No, we get blander.
Well,
That should be a medium.
yeah, medium,
That should be a low.
so that,
That's what I
That
said
should
at
be
first.
out.
Should that be ongoing?
God.
yes,
Yes, ongoing.
ongoing.
Same thing-
Ongoing, yes.
Same thing with the arrow.
Okay, expand the arrow to include opinion columns, history of the community, profiles of community members, involve students.
Whoa, whoa,
Yeah,
whoa.
we took out that.
Well, that's still in there, it's just
That's medium, and it should be ongoing.
Next year instead of ongoing.
continue to support the programs of the recreation program.
Fine.
That's money!
That should be high
That's high, and again,
and
ongoing.
ongoing.
Utilize the town website to alert community regarding public safety issues, that's action 1.5.
Should be
Because we've
high
taken out
The-
and
yeah.
ongoing.
adult program, and we will be taking better use of public access channel.
Medium.
So,
So what are we on, 1.?
1.5, which is
1.5.
going to be utilize town website, this is new. Utilize the town website to alert the community regarding public safety issues.
I think that's high and it's ongoing.
Yep,
Then 1.6 is this is all new, post community events, information and town government activities on the town website.
High ongoing.
high ongoing.
Okay, now, going on to policy 2, promote volunteerism and community service by Arundel citizens. Action 2.1 is the same, list vacancies on the boards and committees in the arrow on the town website.
High and immediate, that makes sense.
And this needs to be underlined. No, I'm not gonna do that now. Number 2 is the same, provide greater recognition of town volunteers in the annual town report. Item number 3, what's that?
It's a medium now.
Yeah, might
It's
as well
a medium,
stay that way.
Okay. Number 3 goes away, the new number 3 is gonna be, number 3 is actually 2.4, which is list opportunities for community volunteer efforts in the Arrow and the town website. It seems to be all the town, Arrow and town website.
Yeah, high and immediate, that's, should
Okay.
stay.
2.5 and 2.6 go away.
Right.
Policy 3. Action 3.1 is unchanged, location of new town offices and other community service buildings shall be in the growth area.
High,
Aye. 2
and
years,
that-
1 to 3 years.
yeah, 1 to 3 years.
1 to 3 years.
I'll be
I'd almost say immediate, but
Yeah, I would say immediate too. I
I
mean,
would
that
say
town
immediate
hall
as
is,
well.
it's needed.
You know,
Yeah.
I'd say immediate.
We'll dedicate it
It's
in
gonna
your
cost
name.
as
My
much
honor,
as
say
all
three.
the shingles that are blown off.
No, it's gonna be an arrow.
Not so much the roof that fell in. Establish a playground and a sports field in the growth areas, that's the same, that should probably be medium.
Medium,
Medium, 3 to 5 years.
Yeah.
And maintain rural character of the town, this is now in goal 4. 4.1, amend the land use ordinance to establish new districts with dimensional requirements and standards called for in the future use plan. High,
Next year.
yeah, it's next year, so it's high.
well, I'm not gonna keep that.
Yeah. Maximize, policy 5, maximize incentives to retain property in open space and conservation. Action 5.1, unchanged, what is that? Is that still?
High
High
next year.
Wow.
Well, that should be ongoing.
It should be.
Yes, yeah, I
It should be
agree.
high, yeah.
Yeah, so it should be high ongoing.
Yeah,
Okay. Action 5.2 is gone.
yeah.
What, the new 5.2, which is 5.3 in your sheet, is, that's unchanged, where does that sit in your mind?
Medium.
Medium,
5
3 to 5
years.
years.
Medium?
Should be medium, maybe 1 to 3 years. Because the 5 years was up 10 years ago.
Yeah, well, think of starting over right now, because we still have to get that, we have to get the districts in
Okay, so you
before we do this.
All right, I'll do my own.
You do the same.
I don't wanna fail immediately.
Too late.
Oh, well,
Want to give time to move away before,
I
right?
do. Todd told me all about this. Before it hits the fan, get out.
All right, 6, let's keep going.
6,
We can
amend
do this.
subdivision, that's nothing new there.
It's high and it's next year right now, so.
Meeting 1 for years.
Didn't we already do this?
Yeah, we.
Does that look familiar?
Yeah,
Why are we doing this twice?
I don't know, we have it down again in 20-something or 30-something.
Yeah, talking about cut and paste.
Yeah, over and over again,
Really?
because we just went through that.
There's more references to this than the arrow on the website letters.
All right, what was this nonsense?
6.
Yeah, I know.
The other one was,
Some-
don't look.
Agricultural, it was 6,553 point something.
Yeah, it was, right.
Yeah, it was
it was
54.1.
54.1. All right, well, let's deep 6.
Yeah, let's get rid of
That's
6.
the only one in
We'll
there.
stick, yeah, we'll stick with 54. That's more, actually more
So the
appropriate.
policy is minimize potential conflicts, and this one is
But we
encourage
still have
forestry and
policy in here.
agricultural activities.
So do we deep 6 the policy 6.1?
So it's two different.
Yeah, if that's the best we can come up with, I'd say so. That's kind of embarrassing.
All right, so policy 6 goes
Policy
away
6 is-
entirely.
Gone.
So we're not encouraging forestry and agricultural activities in rural areas.
No, burning down the place.
Well, if this is the only action we're gonna do, and the other thing is obviously And this is where
Oh,
you
the other one
bring
is to
in.
minimize conflicts.
Right.
Right,
Right.
so
So,
it's the same policy and act, or well, same action,
same
different,
action, different
concept.
policy, yeah.
Keep it if you want to.
uh,
But I think that we gotta ask ourselves the question, is that the best we can do for encouraging forestry and agricultural activities?
I know, that's not very,
That's
That's
lame,
sad.
that's pretty sad,
Yeah.
that's the best we can do.
I'd say take the action out, put a new action.
Hey, guys, let's do a market study.
Ray Nixon.
all right, if look back at policy 5. Policy 5 says maximize incentives to retain property. We changed it for open space and conservation uses, or something like that.
It's just open
Can't read
space
my
and
notes.
conservation.
All right, so why don't we take the policy and make it into an action? So an action under that maximum incentive, we encourage forestry and agricultural activities in the rural areas. Can we do that?
Well,
We could do that
definitely-
through zoning and other incentives.
So just add that to the end of it? Through
Yeah, if you would make that policy 5.3, let's say.
all right,
Let's say
so,
you make that policy 5.3.
no, action.
Yeah, well, okay. Yeah, that's the action. It's action 5.3.
So what was policy 6 is going to become action 5.3, encourage forestry and agricultural activities in the rural areas through zoning incentives?
Zoning incentives,
What about, what if we just said incentives?
people will assume that's monetary.
That's, it's like the
You can
word-
say
Why isn't it fine just as it is, encourage forestry and agricultural activities in the rural areas? Why, do you
Yeah.
have to get real specific about how you're gonna do it on a?
No, but it's not much of an action.
Yeah, you need to have something.
It's a follow-through thing.
Yeah,
You know, what are we gonna do? And the best we've got is amend the subdivision regulations, put a note. I mean, you could do through zoning, through the promotion of agritourism. How would that be?
I would say
Laughable.
One guy to ask.
through zoning incentives and agritourism.
Through zoning incentives and marketing programs.
As 6.1, is the action for,
no, it'd be 5.3.
5.3.
oh, okay, all right, so you're still talking about kidding
Through
policy.
zoning incentives and, what was it? I can't remember what I said. These things blurred out and I can't remember what I said. It sucks. Zoning incentives and,
Well, the zoning incentive is already, part of the zoning incentive is in the uses that we listed, which
Right.
includes agritourism.
Right.
So there, it's already there, so when you go and you look at that RC
Yeah.
district and what's allowed there are your incentives, you can do all these things.
so we do it through zoning incentives. That also includes the provision of farm stands,
Yeah.
Sure.
farm retail.
Yeah, okay, so,
So you could say
6.1.
zoning, including
Yeah,
farms,
5.1.
farm retail, including farm retail, and, I mean, there should be something that gets you a little bit excited. Zoning incentive sounds like,
well, you're the only one in the room that'll get excited, so.
I'm not excited at all about it. That's why I'm trying to come up with something else, like the zoning incentive. The only thing I'm thinking about the zoning incentive is saying, look, we'll give you, the zoning incentive is, you keep this farmland open, you know, and we'll still give you, we'll give you a density bonus, so you can get the houses out here in order to keep this land open. You grow silage instead of single-family homes. And that's the zoning incentive there. We're not gonna go into great detail in this situation, because it's controversial.
Okay, so that's gonna become 5.3.
Yeah.
It falls under the planning board. Is the priority gonna be high or medium?
How about relaxed standards?
I would say
That always
medium
gets people
ongoing.
excited.
I would say medium ongoing.
What if we, through zoning incentives, what if we did a such as,
Such as,
and pick one?
farm retail. And
I would just say
density
zoning-
bonuses.
What?
No,
density bonus.
no.
That'll
TDR.
get Diane upset, TDRs won't.
No, that's not activities, so
It's
you're
not
not
activity.
encouraging forestry and activities necessarily just by TDRs. I would say just your zoning
Expanded
incentives.
uses. How about
And
ex-
That's
expanded
good.
uses, okay. And expanded uses, right?
I can
Yeah.
remember that one.
That I like.
Yes. That.
Uses.
You're throwing enough words out, sooner or later one of them is right.
Something's gonna stick to the wall.
Okay, so,
So that is,
that takes us, so 6 is gone and 5.3 is now,
Come on.
well, that would be immediate, would be high and ongoing, wouldn't it? Dan?
Huh?
High, high and,
Thank you.
high and ongoing for that
Ongoing.
last one that we just made up?
Yeah.
The new 5.3, new and improved, high and ongoing,
You get rid of that.
which I have now made, here's our acronym for high and ongoing. I'm sorry, Tom's not here. Yeah,
Yeah, Tom never showed.
no, I know that. Oh, when I emailed him back, I told him to, you know, not speed and don't hog the road.
I'll take care of that later,
Okay,
okay?
Good.
7 point nothing, where are we here?
7.4 is 5.2 supposedly on my notes.
I guess 7.1 is publicize the location of land currently set aside as conservation land.
It used to be 7.3, when that was the,
That
That's
was
a
gone.
policy.
That was gone.
no, that's there.
You
I
gotta
got
cross
it.
that.
I made a mistake, did I not delete?
You get the policy is crossed off, right? Work with land trust.
Oh, yeah, that was
Yeah.
gone.
Yeah, and
That's
that
gone.
7.4
We put,
became 5.2,
yep,
and that is planning board to identify potential areas for conservation land, so that's 5.2.
Oh, so we got a whole bunch of activities
Yeah.
here.
right, and that was medium in 1 to 3 years, it's now 5.2. This is a nightmare.
So
It is
that
a-
new one is actually gonna be 5.4.
Yep, this is good.
Right.
So 7.1, what is 7.1 is 5.4 now, right? We
No,
keeping this?
7.1 is gone, 7.2 is gone, 7.3 was gone.
Right, 7.3 is gone?
7.4,
Yep,
Yes.
yes,
God,
and 7.4 is
Where were you?
5.2,
I apparently slipped the wheel.
and 7.5 is gone.
7.5 is gone? too?
right.
Yeah.
I like that.
Policy 7 is gone. We just took 7.4 and moved it up and made it 5.2.
So publicize the location of land currently set aside, that's 7.3,
That's gone.
that's gone, right?
Yeah,
So you need to cross that out.
I got across a lot out.
Yeah, that one right there, cross that out. And then the other one is 5.2, yeah.
That's already crossed out. So if this is gonna be, it's not gonna be 5.2, it's gonna be 5.4. The new ones, planning board should identify potential areas for conservation lands so the town can work with property owners before applications submitted for
You need that
development.
5.4,
That's 5.4 now, right?
okay, fine, whatever,
You got 5.2 crossed out?
5.4.
No, 5.2 is still in there.
And 5.3.
Oh, that
Yeah,
5.2,
that's gone.
yeah, I renumbered it, I'm sorry.
So that should be a, planning board should identify potential areas for conservation of the town for local property owners. It's currently listed
We
as
have
medium,
medium and
1 to
3
3,
years.
leave it.
Yeah,
Yeah. Although I don't know why that shouldn't be ongoing.
True, actually, yeah, you're right.
It should be,
That
a
should be
lot
an
of these should be
ongoing.
ongoing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, yep.
All right, policy 8.
Oh, what, no, it's policy 7 now.
Well, don't do that.
I have it as policy
8.1 is
87.
gone.
8.1 is gone, and 8.2 we tabled, because we didn't want to deal with it, but that's okay.
We're not done,
That's
remember.
interesting. In the original document, there was no 8.2, it went 8.1,
Big
8.3.
yeah.
Wow.
I know, I'm sorry, I renumbered it on here.
No, not you, this one, the original. There was no 8 point, it said 1.3, which is now 8.1. And we just left it alone.
8.1's out of here now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
but what was 8.2 is now 8.1. Or will be at some time in the future. It was high and it was next year.
I would say- Ongoing.
No, okay, we want them to amend the land use
Yeah,
ordinance
Yes.
that,
2 years ago.
leave that, leave that alone.
Okay, policy.
All right, number 9. What did we do to number 9? We should
Only a
just
few
go
things,
along.
we messed a little bit with section 9.4, that was the only mess, and 9.5.
9, all we did was eliminate 9.8, and then we just changed some words. So,
What, I deleted 9.8,
yeah,
completely deleted it. No. I can't do that, I gotta do a cross out, I'm gonna bring that back.
And we deleted
I'll get it.
9.6.
we did? Oh, yes, I'm sorry.
Want the wording?
Because 9.6, because we did it already.
I missed it. I crossed off, let's see. Okay.
All right, so keep them as they are, right? 9.1, allow residential, that's high.
Oh, the pine tree, right.
Yeah.
And, increase communication right next year. Explore options for communities. You guys kept that in there?
Yeah.
Community sewage disposal to serve the mixed use district, okay. Sewage disposal,
The economic 9.4,
So what was, I hate to drag this back, but what was the intent of 9, to explore options for community sewage disposal to serve the mixed use district? Are you talking about,
to serve the commercial and residential
Yeah, having,
areas.
having the central, a shared community sewage disposal as opposed to looking up.
Thanks,
with-
Sean, look at my typing.
and why is that at Board of Selectmen?
Thank you so much.
You want the answer that comes to my mind right away, or you want something a little more polite?
Wouldn't that be more of a planning board function?
What's that? Where are we?
9.2.
Going to,
Wait a minute, we're going backwards?
oh,
No,
Dan is, yes.
9.2.
Community sewage disposal to serve the community, no, it's actually, that's code for, let's get sewer out there.
Medium, 5 to 10.
But I guess I'm asking,
5 to 10 is good.
why is this with the selectmen?
Because you would be, it's not just community, you're not talking like subdivisions, sewer, you're talking sewer line
Yeah, so,
in the commercial district.
but if you guys wanna give the power of the purse to the planning board, they'll be happy to take it.
What I'm trying to understand is, are you talking about sewer? Or are you talking about a community sewage in something off to the side?
No.
If you're
Sewer.
talking sewer that runs up and down Route 1 and
Sewer.
branches off, then that's, I understand that.
That's
but-
sewer.
Okay.
Sewer, not to be confused with
Because that's not
sewer
what
or
I get out
sewer.
of that.
I misled you because it wasn't what I was getting out of it either.
You want community going?
So we're leaving it as medium and 3 to 5 years? Or 5 to 10 years?
5 to
It's
10
gonna
years.
be 5 to 10 years.
It's actually gonna be 15
20.
years.
And it's already been 15.
Or ongoing, yeah.
Well, we're at
This
the
whole plan's
mercy,
been 15.
we're at the mercy of, there and there, right? In essence.
There.
All right, well,
That's
let's not
so
get
mercy-
hung up, or
it's
we're
not
gonna
as
be
much
mercy
mercy
at
as you
midnight.
think.
9.3.
Explore options to work with Bedford Soccer Water Company and McKinney and develop shared costs of extending public water service into the R1 and R2 districts and other appropriate locations in the growth area.
All right, just put
Medium, 5 to
ongoing,
10.
Yep, ongoing.
medium and ongoing?
Well, if you're on Limerick Road, it's high.
Yeah, I know.
Economic Development Committee promote business.
That was support instead of established.
Yeah, so that should be
Maybe.
high and
No, I
high.
would say medium, because they've already established. Well, high,
Yeah.
It's heavy,
Ongoing.
that's your RO
Yeah.
system.
High and ongoing.
That's
I
like-
pick great water, I don't know,
Tax increment financing.
I've got good water right now, but it costs me an arm and a leg to get it.
Why? You an RO?
9.5, what are we doing with priority and time?
Reverse osmosis.
Oh,
Should we need the one that you
Costs you money.
So this should be an ongoing,
Really?
Yeah,
and
ongoing?
I would say,
You're a bedrock well, aren't you?
Medium?
yeah, I think medium's okay.
Okay.
You know,
What do you mean
9.7?
Well,
You had to drill down through bedrock.
9.7.
500 feet.
Scroll that down, then a little.
Yep.
9.7.
if you're exploring options, it seems to me that should be ongoing.
Mm.
Okay, 10,
Actually, can we change this?
I don't
This
know,
late date?
what?
How about,
What are you changing?
well, the distance? Let's go to Campground Road, because that's where our intent is. Campground Road is farther than 1,000 feet. Right?
Feet north of the River Road intersection.
South of the point north?
That makes it east, doesn't it?
Yep. Explore, to provide public, to those portions of, how about saying to the to downtown business district 1 and 2?
That's
How's
what we
that?
have, yeah, I think that's what I have written here.
I like that.
Instead of community commercial, DB one and two.
Yeah, but I would just
Yeah, but just stop there?
stop there.
Okay,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
All right.
It gets,
Portions of the DB, those portions of DB one and two.
it gets sewage when you
Correct.
start talking. Oh, muddy.
Explore options to work with Kennybunk Sewer District to provide public sewer service to DB1 and DB2.
Right.
And that's medium and ongoing.
Okay.
Reading my
Currently-
last one.
I'm currently discussing with them. I have a meeting with them on Friday, next Friday.
All right, policy 10, 10.1 is currently high and next year.
Districts and standards and future language.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say yes, you want to get that language written.
Amend land resources, et cetera, they're all high in next year, does that make
Yep.
sense?
Yep.
Okay, moving right along,
DB
policy 10.6, 10.7, same deal, they're all high in next year. Although periodically, 10.7, periodically
Yeah.
review, did we keep that?
Every 5 years.
We have
Right.
that.
Actually, we're due, I think, next year.
All right, it says every 3 years, it should say every 5?
I thought it was 5 years.
It says 3 in the time frame here.
Oh. Oops.
It was 2 years ago.
Every 5 years, we look back 10, right? And I would go, 10 years.
Is it
So
high?
you wrote that section of a point south then north.
So it's still high,
Yeah, it's always high.
okay.
All right,
Actually, I mean, thanks for bringing it up. I gotta check that.
Okay,
Check to see
well,
if
we'll
we
leave
gotta
it.
do it this year.
leave it at 3 years then.
Well, if that's the case.
Okay, 11, did we
Missed
keep
it.
11?
Yes.
Yes, good. It was high next year.
No, did we?
Adequate landscaping?
We have promote.
Incorporate standards in land use and subdivision that require adequate
Oh,
landscaping.
it's talking,
We have promote. Is there something, was that with promote?
Where are we at?
11-1.
oh, you go with the 10-8?
Okay, that is, instead of, okay, promote, it says incorporate standards in the land use ordinance and subdivision regulations that promote.
Active and passive recreational activities, opportunities, right?
Yes, this was, yeah, this was, okay. Wow, what happened to the rest of it? Did that promote?
All right, and I have another note here. Let me read the whole nonsense I have. Incorporate standards in the land use ordinance and subdivision regulations that promote active and passive recreational opportunities. Furthermore, encourage linkages between adjacent neighborhoods.
Yeah, I remember
Or
this.
open spaces in adjacent neighborhoods.
I remember that.
I had adjacent neighborhoods in there.
but that doesn't mean it wasn't right. Incorporate standards in the land use ordinance and subdivision regulations that promote active and passive recreational opportunities. Furthermore, encourage linkages between adjacent neighborhoods.
As well as open space.
That is what John said.
It's all Sean's fault.
Why are you paying him the big bucks?
That's
Did you get
right.
that check yet, by the way, John?
You know, when they check cash in place, they go, huh, you just owe us.
You all set, Pat?
Whoa.
Yeah, oh,
There's a few words
that
missing.
promote,
Promote.
Active and passive recreational
Oh,
opportunities.
it's, yeah,
Must be my minutes, I just didn't
active and passive
recreational, passive recreational.
know. Activities,
Recreational opportunities from linkages between adjacent neighborhoods.
Is that recreational?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I'll get it in a second.
Furthermore, encourage linkages between adjacent neighborhoods. Yeah.
Maybe already did.
Yeah, I know, it's,
Sometimes it's easy to just.
There's a lot of neighborhoods there. It's gonna be a busy little place.
Yeah. Wasn't it
there you go, there's your recreational, Sean.
Excellent.
Thank you.
11.1, was high and next year. Does it still look like it should be? Sure.
I think
Okay,
the
next
planning
year,
board
boy,
decided
it's
next
gonna be a banner year
Yeah.
next year.
All right, 12. We seem to have kept 12.
Yeah.
They were both high and next year.
Sounds good.
Ongoing, aren't they, really?
Well, I don't know, that's why I'm asking.
Ongoing.
They should be
Ongoing.
ongoing, okay. Oh gee.
Does that need to be high, that priority? Amend the building permit limitation ordinance, well, it doesn't have to be high, does it?
So medium,
Be a medium and ongoing. If it's ongoing, you're gonna look at it all the time anyway.
and the other one too?
Whoa, you guys read this?
No.
And we're just trying to get through it.
I know that, okay, I'm sorry, I won't bring it up, never
Yeah, you
mind.
know what, that's screwed up,
Isn't it?
that,
Isn't that weird?
yeah.
It's
Well-
saying that 75%, this is basically forcing you to build in the growth area.
Yeah.
Right.
It's saying 75% of all the permits have gotta be in the growth area.
Yeah.
Not in the RC. We've never done anything with that.
I know, and that's one of the reasons why the RC area is such a mess. Because you've been
Well, this
allowing,
is a good preservation tool, but it's a landowner screaming tool too.
yeah. So,
Wow.
we're gonna keep it, or we're gonna, realize it's unrealistic and change it?
Well,
Unless
you
you
gotta,
change
you
it.
gotta do something to support the policy, right?
That's a big, that's
The
big.
policy is to
If you got
encourage
44, if
residential
you've got
development.
44 units, you got 40, current list, I think the current max is 42. So if it's 42 units, 75% of that has got to be in the R1 and the R2 districts.
and that's not happening.
No, it's never happened. There's no ordinance to do that. We haven't amended the growth ordinance to do that.
So what if you just change, instead of amend the building permit limitation ordinance, to allocate at least, maybe just say to encourage at least 75%, and that doesn't lock you into there, and it supports the policy itself.
Or to encourage the majority of permits.
Well, then say 51%.
Hmm?
Then say 51%.
Majority?
So the planning board doesn't have to argue over what the word majority means.
You know? Oh, you got that.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I had some personal experience in that discussion. I kinda like Dan's suggestion though. just to encourage.
Yeah, but encourage means that it'll never happen.
Well, it's not happening now, and it's in
Well,
that.
this ensures it'll never happen. The question is that what you wanna do?
Well, I mean, you know, you've got a growth area,
And the whole
which
intent,
is designated as a growth area, so we should be trying to
Make it grow?
make it a growth area, even though I don't want it to grow, but that's okay. If that's the policy, otherwise that we take the policy out.
yeah. I like the boldness of it. I don't like the fallout. And it makes me wonder what happens if we get, let's say, an age-restricted community, which is something that we wanna have, that happens to be in the RC district, which is what we want to happen in the RC district, we're gonna have development, because it's gonna help preserve some lands. You won't be able to do that if you have 75% of 44 units or 42 units cannot be in that district at any one time. It's gonna kill that kind of development.
And you know, those growth areas, those growth areas happened by happenstance, not by any type of ordinance that we've had.
No,
And
they're
that's
by this. The growth areas are determined by this thing here.
Right, but the majority of growth that's happened in the town is because we were 2-acre lots all over town, and that's where the growth got built up, I think. Right, is that what you mean, Dan?
Well,
I mean, it really didn't intentionally.
that's kind of what I'm saying, right, is the
Yeah.
growth area, the growth in the town did not intentionally happen in those areas.
It
And
wasn't
unless the
planned.
intention was, the plan was, hey, if we make 1 acre, because that used to all be a lot of them used to be 1 acre lots. So they said if these are all 1 acre lots, then this is where the growth is gonna happen. Years ago, I don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
Right,
Not
Unless
that
they-
way.
and that did happen with certain things like Clearview Acres.
right, I mean, why would, my
Talbot
area
Woods.
and a whole bunch of other areas, you better
Batteries,
plug yourself in.
Oh, goody. That's what we need. I hope I brought the corn.
All right, well, let's,
All right, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to get into it.
All right.
Let's keep it for the moment.
Encourage, we can change.
The
the
planning board can
policy
always
to
say no,
encourage.
which they haven't, they've said no all along so far, so.
We can at least change allocate to encourage.
you wanna do that?
Up to you guys, but I don't guarantee it'll never happen that way.
No, but
That was your suggestion, Dan, you wanna go with it?
Yeah, yeah.
Works for me.
I think we have to re-examine the whole process anyways, at some point. But not tonight. All right, so it's
Okay.
gonna be encourage,
Encourage instead of allocate. All right,
And let me see, that was,
medium and ongoing
yes.
for both of those as well. 13. We didn't do anything to 13,
No.
and they were both high in next year. That still works.
yeah,
14, 14, we destroyed 14. No, actually, no, we're looking at
No,
15.
14 's pretty
We changed a little word.
16 got killed.
Yeah.
Yeah,